All right, we got a couple more things. Let's talk about trick-or-treating. This is another thing that is, it's actually three-sided. It's two-sided, but it's actually three-sided. Or four-sided. So there's this thing called guising, and this was in medieval times. And I think Ian would be a really big fan of this. Ian, come up here. He has no idea. Do you know what guising is?
No.
Did we have a conversation about this?
No.
Okay. Ian, I know you don't like to be very animated. You're just going to have to get out of your shell. I want you to pretend you're knocking on the door. Now, unfortunately, I didn't answer, so I need you to pretend a little bit louder. All right. Now, you're impatient, so keep knocking. Very good. So guising was this practice. A child would wear a costume, but in order for them to get anything from me, they either had to recite poetry, sing, or tell a joke. What do you got?
There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen clear sights, but the clearest they ever did see was the night on the marge of Lake LaBarge I cremated Sam McGee. That's it.
Be blessed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that was guising. That was one part of it. Another side of it was called souling.
Am I still up here?
No. Was called sewing, and this was on, at the time, the Catholic Church side of things. Children would go door to door. They would ask for something called a soul cake, which was like this very sweet bread, in exchange for prayers of dead relatives for that specific family. Not a belief that's shared by the Christian church today. We don't believe in things like purgatory, that you're in purgatory and eventually you go to heaven if you receive enough prayers. Again, I believe 2 Corinthians 5:8. I believe Hebrews 9:27 from the New Testament that says you die and you are before God. There is no waiting room for God. But that was a belief that was held back then, and if you have more questions about that, you should find someone who is Catholic who can explain that to you a lot better than I can, just out of fairness to their beliefs. I just don't see that in the Bible myself. That was called souling. So there's guising, there's sewing, and then there was pranking. And pranking was a thing in American Halloween for a while, and it started off fairly harmless. You just kind of fool around with your friends in the 1800s, but then it became kind of violent. People started by flipping over sidewalks. And then eventually it escalated into flipping over outhouses. And then large wagons were getting stolen and destroyed. In the early 1900s, trolley lines, the rails were slicked with soap, and the routes were switched, almost causing crashes because people thought it was funny. Teens, young males, not the girls, the girls are great, but the males would create makeshift smoke bombs and put them in people's houses so their house would fill up with smoke. And they'd be like, it's just a prank, bro. The prank.
Gone wrong, not clickbait.
They would deflate people's tires in the name of Halloween. They would remove manhole covers from the street and so on. It became such a problem that in 1933, Halloween was actually almost completely outlawed and banned. What actually saved Halloween, of all things, was World War II. World War II really turned Halloween in America around. As men were at war fighting, children were instilled with this idea: you can support the men at war by being a good child here in America, by not creating damage, by not creating waste, and having good, clean fun on Halloween instead of destructive fun. And the idea actually stuck, and that pretty much saved Halloween in America from becoming banned. Halloween and its different respective sides of history have a long history of being evil and destructive, being filled with chaos and death. Now it manifests itself in 2025 as wearing inappropriate costumes or going out and getting drunk, heavy drinking, bad influences. We know Ephesians 5:18 in the New Testament directly condemns getting drunk. And trick or treat became the saying after World War II.